Welcome! Today, we're diving into the world of agency decisions, a topic that often confuses people dealing with government or regulatory bodies. Whether you've received a letter from a government agency or you're just curious about how these decisions work, understanding the basics is crucial. In this video, we'll break down what an agency decision is, why it matters, and what your options are if you disagree with one. Let's start by defining the term and exploring why agency decisions play such a significant role in our daily lives and legal systems. An agency decision is an official determination made by a government agency or regulatory body. These decisions can affect individuals, businesses, or organizations in various ways. For example, an agency might decide whether to grant a permit, approve a benefit, or enforce a regulation. Such decisions are typically based on laws, regulations, and the agency's own policies. Understanding the nature of these decisions is the first step in knowing how to respond or challenge them if necessary. Agency decisions come in many forms. Some are formal, like written orders or rulings, while others may be informal, such as verbal instructions or notices. Formal decisions are usually documented and sent to the affected parties, often including the reasons behind the decision and any relevant legal references. Informal decisions might be less detailed but can still have significant impact. Knowing the type of decision you're dealing with helps determine your next steps. Let's look at some common examples. A state environmental agency might decide whether to issue a pollution permit to a factory. A federal agency could determine if someone qualifies for disability benefits. Local agencies might rule on zoning requests or building permits. Each of these decisions can have a direct effect on people's lives, property, or business operations. Understanding the context of your agency decision is key to knowing how to respond. Agency decisions can shape everything from your eligibility for government programs to your ability to operate a business. They often have the force of law and can be enforced through fines, penalties, or other actions. Because of their impact, it's important to understand your rights and responsibilities when you receive an agency decision. Knowing what's at stake helps you make informed choices about how to proceed. Agencies derive their authority from laws passed by legislatures. These laws grant agencies the power to make rules, enforce regulations, and issue decisions. When an agency makes a decision, it must follow the procedures and standards set out in the law. This legal framework ensures that agency actions are consistent, fair, and subject to oversight. Understanding the source of an agency's authority can help you assess the validity of its decisions. The process for making an agency decision usually involves gathering information, reviewing evidence, and applying relevant laws or policies. Agencies may hold hearings, request documents, or consult experts before reaching a conclusion. The goal is to ensure that decisions are based on facts and comply with legal requirements. Knowing how the process works can help you prepare if you need to participate or respond. Once an agency makes a decision, it typically notifies the affected parties in writing. This notification may include the decision itself, the reasons behind it, and information about your rights to appeal or request a review. It's important to read these documents carefully, as they often contain deadlines and instructions for next steps. Missing a deadline can limit your options for challenging the decision. The decision letter is a crucial document. It outlines what the agency has decided, explains the reasoning, and often cites the laws or regulations involved. It may also specify what actions you need to take, such as complying with a new rule or submitting additional information. Carefully reviewing this letter helps you understand your position and what options are available if you disagree. If you disagree with an agency decision, you often have the right to appeal. This means you can ask for the decision to be reviewed by a higher authority within the agency or by an independent body. The appeal process is designed to ensure fairness and accountability, giving you a chance to present your side of the story and correct any errors or misunderstandings. Not every disagreement qualifies for an appeal. You usually need to show that the agency made a mistake, misapplied the law, or failed to consider important evidence. Common grounds for appeal include errors in fact-finding, incorrect application of rules, or procedural problems. Understanding the valid reasons for appeal helps you build a stronger case. Filing an appeal usually involves submitting a written request to the agency or designated appeals body. The request should explain why you believe the decision was wrong and provide supporting evidence or arguments. Be sure to follow the instructions in your decision letter, including any deadlines. Missing a deadline can result in your appeal being dismissed automatically. Every agency sets its own deadlines for filing appeals. These can range from a few days to several months, depending on the type of decision and the agency's rules. It's critical to act quickly and keep track of all relevant dates. If you're unsure about the deadline, contact the agency or seek legal advice to avoid missing your opportunity to appeal. A successful appeal requires careful preparation. Gather all relevant documents, such as the original decision letter, supporting evidence, and any correspondence with the agency. Organize your arguments clearly and focus on the specific reasons why you believe the decision should be changed. Being thorough and concise increases your chances of a favorable outcome. After you file an appeal, the agency or appeals body will review your case. This may involve a hearing where you can present your arguments in person or in writing. The review process can take weeks or months, depending on the complexity of the case. During this time, the agency may request additional information or clarification. Stay engaged and respond promptly to any requests. There are several possible outcomes when you appeal an agency decision. The agency may uphold the original decision, modify it, or overturn it entirely. In some cases, the agency might send the case back for further review or investigation. Understanding these possibilities helps you set realistic expectations and plan your next steps. If your appeal is denied, you may still have options. Some agencies allow for further appeals to higher authorities or independent review boards. In other cases, you might be able to challenge the decision in court. It's important to read the denial letter carefully to understand your remaining options and any additional deadlines that may apply. Judicial review is a process where a court examines an agency's decision to ensure it was made according to law. This is usually a last resort after exhausting all administrative appeals. Courts typically review whether the agency followed proper procedures, applied the law correctly, and made a reasonable decision based on the evidence. Judicial review can be complex, so legal advice is often recommended. Courts do not redecide the facts of your case. Instead, they focus on whether the agency acted within its authority and followed the law. If the agency's decision was reasonable and properly justified, courts are likely to uphold it. However, if there were legal errors or procedural problems, the court may order the agency to reconsider or change its decision. You are not always required to have a lawyer to appeal an agency decision, but legal representation can be very helpful, especially in complex cases or judicial reviews. Lawyers can help you understand the law, prepare your arguments, and navigate the appeals process. If you can't afford a lawyer, some agencies or legal aid organizations may offer assistance. If you choose to represent yourself, be sure to read all instructions carefully and follow agency procedures. Stay organized, keep copies of all documents, and meet all deadlines. Present your arguments clearly and respectfully. Many agencies provide guides or resources to help people navigate the appeals process on their own. Some appeals involve an administrative hearing, which is like a mini trial within the agency. You may present evidence, call witnesses, and make arguments before a hearing officer or administrative law judge. The hearing is usually less formal than a court trial, but still follows specific procedures. Preparing thoroughly can make a big difference in the outcome. The evidence you present in an appeal is critical. This can include documents, witness statements, photographs, or expert reports. Make sure your evidence is relevant, organized, and clearly supports your arguments. Agencies and courts rely on the evidence to make fair and informed decisions, so take the time to gather and present it effectively. Administrative law judges, ALJs, are neutral officials who oversee hearings and make decisions in agency appeals. They review the evidence, listen to arguments, and issue written decisions. ALJs are independent from the agency's regular staff, which helps ensure fairness and impartiality in the appeals process. After a hearing, the administrative law judge or appeals officer will issue a written decision. This document explains the outcome, the reasons for the decision, and any next steps you can take. It's important to read this decision carefully, as it may include new deadlines or instructions for further appeals. Some agency decisions become final if you do not appeal within the specified time. Once final, these decisions are binding and enforceable. It's crucial to act promptly if you wish to challenge a decision, as waiting too long can close off your options permanently. Once an agency decision is final, the agency can take steps to enforce it. This might include issuing fines, revoking licenses, or requiring compliance with specific orders. If you fail to comply, the agency may take further legal action. Understanding the consequences of a final decision helps you make informed choices about how to proceed. In some cases, you can ask the agency to reconsider its decision before filing a formal appeal. This is called a request for reconsideration. You may need to provide new evidence or explain why you believe the decision was incorrect. Agencies are not always required to grant reconsideration, but it can be a useful step in resolving disputes quickly. Some agencies offer alternative dispute resolution, ADR, methods, such as mediation or settlement conferences. These processes aim to resolve disputes without a formal appeal or court case. ADR can save time and money. and often leads to mutually agreeable solutions. Check with your agency to see if ADR is available for your situation. Many agencies allow for public input before making major decisions. This can include public hearings, comment periods, or advisory committees. Participating in these processes gives you a chance to influence decisions before they are finalized. Stay informed about opportunities to provide input on issues that affect you. Agencies are required to act transparently and be accountable for their decisions. This means providing clear explanations, following established procedures, and allowing for appeals or reviews. Transparency helps build trust and ensures that decisions are made fairly and consistently. Appealing an agency decision can be challenging. Common obstacles include complex procedures, strict deadlines, and the need for detailed evidence. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but breaking the process into manageable steps and seeking help when needed can make a big difference. If you need help with an agency decision or appeal, there are resources available. Many agencies provide guides, FAQs, or hotlines. Legal aid organizations and community groups can also offer assistance. Don't hesitate to reach out for support if you're unsure about your rights or the appeals process. Good record keeping is essential when dealing with agency decisions and appeals. Keep copies of all correspondence, decisions, evidence, and notes from phone calls or meetings. Organized records make it easier to track deadlines, prepare appeals, and respond to agency requests. Every agency has its own policies and procedures for making decisions and handling appeals. Familiarize yourself with these rules by reviewing agency websites, policy manuals, or contacting staff. Knowing the specific requirements can help you avoid mistakes and strengthen your case. During a hearing, the evidence you present can make or break your case. Be sure to submit all relevant documents, witness statements, and other supporting materials. The hearing officer, or judge, will base their decision on the evidence provided, so thorough preparation is key. Appeal hearings are usually less formal than court trials, but they still follow specific procedures. You may be asked to present your case, respond to questions, and provide evidence. The hearing officer will listen to both sides before making a decision. Understanding the process can help you feel more confident and prepared. After the hearing, you'll receive a written decision. If the outcome is in your favor, the agency may reverse or modify its original decision. If not, review the decision letter for information about further appeals or judicial review. Knowing your options helps you decide whether to accept the result or continue challenging it. Appealing an agency decision can involve costs, such as filing fees, copying expenses, or legal fees if you hire a lawyer. Some agencies waive fees for low-income individuals or provide free resources. Be sure to ask about costs and available assistance before starting the appeal process. The time it takes to resolve an appeal varies widely. Some cases are resolved in weeks, while others may take months or even years, especially if they go to court. Stay patient and keep in touch with the agency or appeals body for updates on your case. Agency decisions can have lasting effects on your life, business, or community. They can determine your eligibility for benefits, your ability to operate a business, or your compliance with regulations. Understanding the impact helps you make informed choices and advocate for your interests. Even if you don't win your appeal, the process can teach you valuable lessons about agency procedures, evidence, and advocacy. Use what you learn to better navigate future interactions with agencies or to help others facing similar challenges. Laws and agency procedures can change over time. Stay informed by checking agency websites, subscribing to updates, or consulting legal professionals. Keeping up to date ensures you know your rights and responsibilities when dealing with agency decisions. To wrap up, agency decisions are official rulings that can significantly affect your life or business. If you disagree with a decision, you often have the right to appeal, but you must act quickly and follow the correct procedures. Understanding the process, gathering evidence, and seeking help when needed can improve your chances of success. Stay organized, informed, and proactive throughout the process. Thank you for joining us on this overview of agency decisions and the appeals process. Remember, understanding your rights and the steps involved can make a big difference if you ever need to challenge an agency decision. Stay proactive, seek help when needed, and don't hesitate to stand up for your interests. Good luck on your journey through the world of agency decisions.